Wee, is it muggy? Hey, pup? Hot, eh? Well, this one, we got a few parts. I got a rad that came in, but I got to do some modifying to make it work. Feather brought me like a cold air intake and a brake pedal assembly. So, got to modify that to work. So, that's the plan. This is out of some kind of a square body S10. So, this should work fine, but it's just a little too long right now, so I'm just going to trim this down, because normally this would go right up to the column, but because I'm using the stock column, I think I got to trim this back around here. So I'm going to do that, just do a test fit, see how it fits, and then I can probably start drilling the holes and get her in there. Okay, so we got our hole for try to fit that first. All right, so the hole's there. Now we got the booster mounted, a little shtick, which fits pretty good. Which then means we can finally figure out where we're putting all this other stuff. Okay, everybody's commenting on this. I don't know why it's there, but I'm leaving it there because I think it's cool. All I know is out the front there is a household wire with the plug, which goes to that plug, to which then has an extension cord plugged in it when it comes out the front of the... I don't know. It's cool. I'm leaving it. I'll let the other guy decide what he wants to do with it. So anyways, from here I'm going to make a bracket that will hold said PCM. So I'll have a bracket for that, a bracket for this, the stock computer, that'll be somewhere there, and now I can get the pedals in and I'll show you how that sits. So that's scooched in there relatively easy. Let's see if you can see, maybe not, but either way, it's bolted in. I haven't tied it in yet, but you can see the upper part there. I'm just gonna find a way to tie these together. So I can probably I'll probably do a step with a block and then bolt it so the upper part has some support. So that when you're pushing the pedal, it doesn't like flex on the firewall. So you need some support up here to hold that pedal assembly to this inner brace. Because it's only a sheet metal firewall, so otherwise you stomp on the pedal and this sucker is just gonna move like crazy, like you can see it. So once you do that, that should be fine. Like I say, now I just gotta make a bracket for this, run my brake lines. I need to get a proportioning valve. I think I found one. I think this is the one from the stock truck. That might work, might not, we'll see. But yeah, keep jamming away here. Okay, so I am working on the rad, which is not in there because I got to move the filler on the bottom of it. But because this isn't pointing in the right area, I'm going to unscrew this thing and I'm just going to point it down and see how close my stuff is to lining up. So I'm going to get to that. I'm going to unbolt that. I'll turn it down. I'll set the rad in and then see how well things line up. And then we'll go from there. Kind of weird what you can do with these, and it's probably not the best way to do it, but if you have one of the necks with the built-in thermostat that's built into it, you can actually just, I don't know, I unbolt it. I don't know if you can see or not. I can unbolt it and then just spin it, and I snug it down with the bolt, Yeah, I know. What you can do is you weld this up, which I normally would do, is build this up, re-drill it, and then you pretty much have a filler neck that you can clock. So for now, I'm just pointing it down. This is about as max I can tilt it to the downward slope, because normally they come straight into the fender here. This is well, you can see where the hole is. It's there. Let me show you. The hole's over here, and it's supposed to be up there, so that's how much I've rotated it. So I got my rad. As you've seen, I've already cut off the filler. Basically, I take something new and I just break it instantly. Now I'm going to just do a test fit and see where stuff needs to go. So, I don't know, you can't... Doing kind of a really rough, dry fit here. I'm probably going to be putting it in at a bit of an angle. Yeah, this is miserable. So I'm going to see where this has got to go, and then I'll show you after here. It was too miserable to show you in there, but basically it's got to go on at this angle, and if I can get it to come out a little bit, that would be the ultimate win. So I'm going to chop a hole out on there. I'm going to make a patch to weld over that, and hopefully I can glue all this together with minimal problems. Friday night, got something going on tonight, but I want to see if I can tackle some of this stuff tonight yet, or at least win at one or two of these things. I don't have the wiring yet. I have brake lines. The brake pedal is in. I think I got to extend it. Fuel system, I don't have a fuel tank. I don't have a battery. Yeah, there's a few things here. We got to lower the back of the truck. We got to do that. So let's see if I can knock that out quick, and then yeah, see how that goes. Okay. Oh, can't see very well. All right. So this line's a little banjo-y, but that we're gonna fix in a bit. So essentially, all I did, I don't know if you remember, I just cut some 2x2 and I just actually made the perch out of it. So I'm gonna put a 2-inch block underneath there because I think I got enough meat on those U-bolts that I can do that. If I have to, I'll pull a spring or so out. But so I'm gonna loosen this up. I'm gonna cut me some blocks, drill it because I think I want to push the diff back a little bit more, and bolt her back up and see how she fits. See how she sits. So I've cut all these blocks, and I'm just going to cap it and square it up. So I'll buzz those on, throw them in the truck there. So what you were watching me do there was I was pulling the spring pack apart. So I just put a clamp on there, so sometimes the springs might like pop open. So I put a clamp on, I just cut the bolt, and then I peeled off 2 springs. Those 2 leaves down there. I made a new pin, which is just a bolt with the head rounded on it. Bolted her in, and then I can sandwich this together. There's a peg on here going in, but I'm just going to weld this block to the other block. Yeah, so now I just got to do the same thing to the other side. So I got this thing bolted down. I have the rad mount made, so that sucker's in place. Did my old PCV pipe elbow and whatever contraption was on this other feller's truck before for the air filter. So I'll have to make a mount here to hold that. And then I don't know what's going on here, but I guess it worked on his truck before. So I'll leave it. So I have to figure out electric fan. He brought me one, but I don't think this is gonna work. It was obviously a puller. There's no way that'll work as a pusher, so it's gonna need to get an electric fan. Trying to think here. Yeah, I guess now I'm gonna make my battery box, or make a battery box. So I cut all my bits. This is gonna be my battery box. Pretty straightforward. Two sides. Sides, some backs. Front. Doesn't look right. I'll figure this out. I'll get this figured out yet, but this is the right bits. Or did I cut something wrong? Oh no, these are the longer ones. So. There we go. Kind of goes like that, that. It's a little puzzle, but we'll get her together here. Alright, so we got the battery box on now. I just relocated the horn. He wants to run those horns, which is fine. So I'm gonna have to still make a strap for this for a tie down, but at least this is in place. We got the rad, the plumbing's all done. You've seen me weld the rad, so whatever. I had moved that outlet. I had added the whatever, this purge or whatever they call that thing. This other hose, I don't know what it's called, can't remember. But where are we here? So we can at least swipe a few things off our list. Battery box is done. Rad is done. I still have to make some shock mounts for the back, so I guess I'll get on that. Okay. So we got these blocks in here. This is pinned, but I'm gonna weld them anyways. And then I gotta do these shock mounts. So these shock mounts are here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna bolt them like they would have been originally. So I'm gonna strap and bolt, but I'm just gonna weld it to the perch here, just so it can't slide. I don't see it doing it because you hit a bump, it's gonna wanna push into it anyways, but just cause I'll put a little bit of weld on there, hold her in place. And yeah. So this is the original column shifter. This would be your in and out. And so I guess this would go here, it would lock, and then it would do whatever it's supposed to do. But this thing has a nice bushing in it. So what I'm going to do is this I'm going to weld on the firewall. And I'm going to take this part off. Like I'll weld this to the firewall to the inside, and I'll put this pin into, well, I can reverse this so it sits this way. The idea is that I can have a lockout, like a park lock. So you actually have to push down to get this out of park, and then you can, or pull, push, pull, pull to get it out of park, and then like a normal one. There won't be any lockouts as far as reverse and neutral. I might be able to make another indent somewhere for that, but yeah, I'm going to dismantle this, figure this out, so that I can put this inside the truck, because it's got a brass bushing in there. So put a little bit of lube on there, it should be golden. So the push-pull idea on the column must have loaded as a fail because, well, this thing is seized, so it doesn't work. So I'm pretty much just going to set it. I'm still using that bushing, so you can see down there, that's sitting there. I don't know if you can see that good. So I'm still going to use the bushing. I'm just going to weld it onto the column. That way you can still take it apart. It bolts up a little further up there, if you can see. It'll bolt on, so it's serviceable. You can take it out. So I'm going to zap that sucker down there. And then on the outside, I've got this tang that'll weld on to the bottom. I made this that will zap on, so it's got some adjustment as far as if my cable isn't set right for how much throw I get. And then this will weld onto the bottom part, which is currently right there. Or no, I don't know if you can see. It's right there. So I'm going to put the tang onto that. My shifter here is just going to, this is off the column, so it's just going to weld on, and the cable will go up over there. So whatever, I'll show you when it's all set up. Alright, so here is our shifter setup. Hopefully you can get in there and see. Can they get you right down in there? So it's not that complicated. So I'm using a stock S10 cable. I zapped the plate to the firewall. I used the original shift rod. I added that plate so it has some adjustment in it if I needed, but ended up the second pin worked perfect. There is no like lockout, unfortunately, but so she goes. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. So there's a bushing on the inside. There's a sleeve on the inside that like the stock column has, so you can unbolt it, so you can pull the column out. And then this half here will come out this way. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, shifter done. Another one we can check off here. Let's see, where are we at? We have, I lowered the back of the truck, I got the shifter done. I don't have a gas pedal. I don't have the wiring harness yet. I don't have all the fuel systems there, but I don't have a fuel tank, so those two tie together. So I can work on the brake pedal and the brake lines. And it's probably about all I can do. Might be able to fire it though, just to see. Why not, eh? See if she works. Yeah. Okay, let's try to fire this thing up. Set up my janky startup scenario there. I looped the tranny lines because we don't have a trans cooler. Yeah, this will be ignition and start. Perfect. Hey, now you know that that fuse box works right. Cool. All right. Well, we're almost there. A little closer. So we're missing a few bits yet, but yeah, it runs. Maybe soon I'll be able to get her going under low power. So, yeah, I guess that's it for now. Thanks for watching, guys. Check you out on the next one.